So if we go to this now, whether it's a child or someone who's been traumatized, as adult, safety, from what I'm hearing, is very, very important. We want to try and
the key.
Ensure. Then obviously, once we've got safety, or we've got a measure of safety, I mean, some people can't live in this country. That's why they've left. And I think possibly it's just a protective mechanism of saying, I just don't feel safe here, so I'm going to take another set of problems somewhere else. They might bring me anxiety or fear, but I'm able to deal with those far better. I think we're different personalities there. And then the second thing on top of that is significance and feeling valued. And if we do that, that often, will help our emotional intelligence on top of that level of safety that we need. Sort of those two factors: firstly, safety, and secondly, significance.
And it's more than physical safety, it's emotional safety. So it could be that I feel very safe physically somewhere else, but if my emotional life is not sorted out, I will still feel the same no matter where I go. So it's the system feels safe, and physical safety is one part of that only. More importantly is the safety that I feel within myself, and that's our programming. If I don't feel good enough, doesn't matter where I go in the world, I will not feel safe. And that's the tragedy of people changing location, because they think it's the location that's the problem. If you don't feel safe here, you won't feel safe there. You'll feel safe maybe for the first 6 months. Well, you can walk around the streets at night, as people talk about. But wherever you go, you take yourself, your programming, etc. So this is the work we need to do.
But what do you mean emotional safety? I mean, what do you mean? Are you talking about emotional abuse from others, or not feeling valued, or not significant, or
about managing your anxiety, managing your depression? Because if you feel those things here, managing your level of fear, if you feel those things in South Africa, you're going to take those feelings with you, because that's your programming. So we need to heal and to deprogram our fear aspect anywhere in the world. Because if, for example, you may be in America, you may feel physically safer, if depending on where you come from, but you may feel physically safer, but you may feel that you're not doing enough, you're not striving enough. America, youngsters are addicted to their version of Ritalin, which is Adderall. Why? Because they're not feeling safe, that they're good enough. So they're having to strive and do more and prove and prove and prove and prove and prove. You don't have to prove anything. You're human beings, it's often said, not human doings. And it's being able to learn to calm oneself, to regulate your emotional system, so that you're not feeling that angst all the time that is making you strive, and driving yourself all the time, because that just is then a self-fulfilling prophecy of the angst just gets worse and worse and worse. It doesn't solve it.
So how do we counter that? How do we actually say you don't have to drive, perform, work? What is the counter? What message do we give ourselves? What program are we trying to install in our subconscious mind?
So all of us have a need to make a difference. And if we know how we can make a difference, work on that. And if we're working on making a difference, we're not trying to impress anybody. We're trying to, by making other people feel good, we feel good. So strive to achieve. What are we doing? We're looking to earn more money and do this and get more accolades and the competitiveness. Competition lives literally between the orange and the red zone. Collaboration lives in the green zone. So we can't collaborate even in our teams when we're competing with one another. All the corporate politics, all the sickness that goes with that toxicity that goes with corporate politics, what are we looking at? We're looking at people pushing each other down to show that I'm better than you. So competitiveness, if it's not about collaborating for a common goal, is a very difficult space if it's about me. So if we give up on me all the time and look at, okay, how can we make this world a better place for all of us to live in? That takes us into a different space completely.